On today's episode, Keith Allen with your custom World's Toughest Mudder songs. And we're doing this episode live from the road with no sound effects.
Boom, dooch, boom, shoot, boom, boom, boom.
Welcome to the World's Toughest Podcast, where we talk about any obstacle course race you'd like, as long as that's World's Toughest Mudder. My name is Will Hicks. Welcome back to World's Toughest Podcast. My name is Will Hicks. Thank you for listening. I am in Laughlin, Nevada, ready for World's Toughest 2021. Are you on your way? Will I see you this weekend? I'm actually in Bullhead, Arizona, which is right across the river from Laughlin. It is 5 minutes and one time zone away, so I promise you there will be some shenanigans related to time zones if people are staying on the Arizona side. Arizona is 1 hour later than Nevada, so be aware of that. Also, get your food as soon as you land. Laughlin and Bullhead are small towns, and people are already raiding the Uncrustables freezers at Target and Walmart, local grocery stores. Get what you need. How excited are you? Will I see you at the community dinner on Friday? See you out on course. How many miles are you going to do? I'm just excited, guys. This is the thing we plan for all year long, and it is this weekend. Shoot me a text, 619-485-2726. If you want to say hey, meet up at dinner or at the brunch, I'd love to touch base with you while you're here. Today in our show, Keith Allen. Keith is a friend of mine from the World's Toughest Mudder community. He's also incredibly talented. He's the guy who wrote the Kristopher Mendoza song. Kristopher Mendoza! He has written many other songs. He will not be at Worlds this year, but I hope to see him again next year. What he's doing is he is writing custom songs for you. If you want to get a song about your World's Toughest Mudder experience, maybe you ran 50 miles, or maybe you got beat up. Maybe you got an injury and you had to quit halfway through the race this year. We don't know yet. I'm talking to you on Thursday morning. But whatever it is, if you want some custom stuff for putting over your TikToks or your Instagram live, or your Reels rather, talk to Keith about it. He gives you his contact info in there. You can find him on Instagram at Chet Saber for Keith Allen. But also, it was just kind of a fun, casual chat right before Worlds. Get caught up and see what he is up to. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or lovethepodcast.com/tough, and I will read it on a future episode. All right, I think that's it. Leave a review. Shoot me a text, 619-485-2726. It's time to talk with Keith Allen. Let's go to the phone. Keith Allen, welcome to the show.
Welcome in. How are you? What brand mic do you have? Is that a Behringer or no?
You know what? I could hang on. Is a Rode, RODE.
Okay.
That kind of.
We have a very similar microphone. So.
These guys, they kind of specialize in podcasting equipment. So this isn't I'm sure your audio equipment is higher end than mine. This is top of the podcast area, but it's not professional, broadcast quality.
Yeah. Your voice sounds good, as always.
Oh, you're a sweetheart.
Deep, pillowy, sweet.
Keith, before we started recording, you and I were talking about the first time we met, and it was at Taco Bell in 2018? Must have been? No.
16.
2016.
So I guess we met in the hotel on the way to Taco Bell because we drove in. I guess you drove us? Did you drive?
That could have been. I usually rent a car when we go to Vegas. I'm driving. Yeah. I'm driving my personal car up this time to Laughlin.
Wait, it was 17 because I was pit daddy at 17, so it was 17.
That was the year.
Yeah.
I actually pitted. I was a pit crew that year also because I had a bum leg that year.
Yeah, no, because I slept in Matt's room. It was really weird. like because like that was the year they did all the TV stuff, and like Matt was right in front of Matt's door was all the next door was the room with the interviews where they'd set up like they made the room look like they put like all very like industrial looking stuff
That
for
like
the
metal
interviews.
backdrop or whatever.
Yeah. So like, but everybody that was waiting to be interviewed was sitting outside of Matt's room basically. So I was cool by proxy.
This year, 2019, you are not going to be at the race. What do you feel like this week? You know, leading up to it, you see all the talk online. You have a little FOMO.
Honestly, if I wasn't so damn busy, I probably would have some FOMO. But I have so much stuff going on. It's like the kids, and so like I have a little bit. Like I'm gonna have to actually be an admin and like pay attention to the page while the race is going on and like update and you know make sure everyone's being cool. Like because things get very active the night of the race. So a little bit. I mean, I kind of like I like the 12 hours to be honest with you.
Why do you like the 12 more than 24?
It's half as long. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like I did the last 24-hour one I didn't last the full 24 hours. And I just was like, yeah, I'm kind of good with this. And then I ran team with Toughest this year. And that was fun. It was fun to do it differently. But I wasn't like, man, I want to go to 24 again.
The first time I ran Worlds was individual. I ran with my sister. We were together, but I don't think they had a 2-man team back then. But then after a couple of years, I invited some friends of mine that I used to work with, go to school with. And so we ran as a 4-man team for, I don't know, like 4 years now. And it's the same race, but it's a totally different experience because you're like with your people.
I would do WTM with a team. Yeah, if I did it again. I just honestly, dude, from the East Coast going all the way out to goddamn, like flying out there, it's such a pain in the ass. Like that's worse, honestly, to me than the actual race. And I mean, I gotta save for Disney and shit. Like this is, you know what I mean? It's like if I were to go that, I gotta go to Florida. I gotta like pay for Universal Studios. Like these are the things. These are the competing priorities at this point.
Wait. So if you go to World's Toughest Mudder, you kind of have a deal with your family. You got to go to Disney World also.
No, I'm saying I got to go to Disney, so I can't go to World's Toughest. I got to pay to go to Disney. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like I got to save my money.
You know what? Worlds is not a cheap race. It's basically half a Disney trip, probably just the ticket.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then from New York, the flights. You know what I mean? Like it's a big pain in the ass. And then my wife's got the kids by herself the whole like 5 days, and it's not. I come home and I can't do anything, so it's like another 3 days of her basically taking care of the kids by herself. It's you know.
How old are your kids?
7 and 9.
I have a 14 and 8-year-old, and so my wife has already planned ladies' night, like the weekend of the race. So like while most of us are out there for 24 hours, they'll be having Mai Tais and whatever at the house.
Nice. Oh, it's at the house, so she's not just going to leave the 14-year-old to watch the 8-year-old.
Yeah. Well, there's no driving. There will be no driving afterwards. So. Hey, so most people may know you as, if people are like, who's Keith Allen? Like, why does that voice sound familiar? Most people probably may know you as the voice of Kristopher Mendoza.
Kristopher Mendoza.
Do you want to?
Really, he used to be a nice guy. There's a remix out there. It's only a few people have heard it, but Kristopher Mendoza is not a nice guy. He's not a nice guy. Ask him about it.
ask Chris if he's a nice guy.
Yeah. Whisper it to him though. Just like whisper it to him in his ear. Chris, are you a nice guy?
I don't think Chris will be there at the race this year. He just had a surgery.
No, I know, it's a bummer.
Do you guys talk much?
We text here and there. Sometimes more text than sometimes messenger. I did this thing for a while where I'd like congratulate him on getting engaged. Right. But then like I do that to a lot of people, you know what I mean? And then, but the last one was like, it turned out it wasn't a post. It wasn't like, it's just a regular post. I had to delete it. I was like, oh shit. Like someone had died, and I looked, and I don't think anyone even saw it. So I'm kind of diming myself out here, but I realized because I did it before I even read what the post was about. It was just like a picture of him and a bunch of friends. I was like, and then I was like, oh shit. So Chris, if you saw that, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, it's always tough making jokes about at funerals. It's touchy.
But it was like a dental school photo. So I just, you know what I mean? Like I thought it was like celebrating the fact that him and his friends but it was more somber than that. So I love you, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, for people who don't know, what is the backstory behind the Kristopher Mendoza jingle?
Kristopher Mendoza.
So Kristopher Mendoza. Okay, so Maddie, Greg, and I think, and this could be like, you know, as you get old and you think you remember everything perfectly, but you start making things up. So I'm pretty sure Maddie, Greg, and I were rap battling, and then Chris Mendoza inserted himself into it, and like put something really corny out. Like Chris' last name is Mendoza, but he's so white when he raps. But he put out his rap. I think he was dissing me. Honestly, it was so non-memorable that I can't even like remember a line from it. But people were like, "Oh, you got to get back at him. You got to respond." And it's kind of like, you know, like when Eminem responds to certain people that are, you know, just like a lot, you know, on a different level. So I responded, but I didn't even really want to fully go, you know, like with Maddie, at least I would put some like real production into it. Like I think that's like a Morrissey song. I think I sang over a fucking Morrissey instrumental, and what did I rhymed Vest Deferens with something, you know, like that's my memory of that song. So, and it's also like, you know, Chris was just trying really hard at that point in his life. You know what I mean?
I think one of the things that kind of made his memorable is he was doing it in the orange jacket. Like he just ran 100 miles. And so he had.
No, was he? See, you might be right. I'm not.
He had. What year was this? This was 20.
It had to be like 15 or 16, man.
15 was my first. It wasn't, no, because 15 was my first year. I think it was like 17 because I'm 90% sure he had the orange jacket on in his first rap.
No, because the orange jacket year, he did the orange jacket when he beat Trevor, right?
Well, I think he got third place.
Okay, so
because that was like one of the lines was like train with somebody so you can get second place. He like.
Okay, you're right.
And it was the year CBS was there because it was like he didn't get much time on CBS. That was one of the. I don't remember what it rhymed with. That was one of the lines.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like. There's some archived songs that I never put out. There's this Thrasher one that I never did. Because that just kind of had to end. You know what I mean? But that one's out there.
That was quite the year that one that
I've probably sent you that one.
I don't know if I've heard it.
That was over like a jazz. It was over like some weird jazz track.
I have not heard that.
I'll send it to you. I have it. I can find it.
You actually have, like, you're obviously talented with the music and the production, but you actually, that was your job, or you were pursuing that as a job for a while?
So my first real job, I worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and then a local band of kids I went to high school with were going on tour with Alien Ant Farm. So like they approached me when I was, you know, working at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, you know, real serious career as a manager in training, you know, wearing a tie to wash fucking cars. So they were like, we need a backup vocalist and a guitar player, like a lead guitar player. So I like tried out, and then I don't know, like 3 weeks later, I was driving to California to start a tour with Alien Ant Farm. So I did that. I did that for probably like 6-7 years. And we toured with 311. We got to play with Metis Yahoo. We got to play with Alien Ant Farm and some other, you know, a lot of other bands. It's like Warped Tour type bands, Receiving End of Sirens, just stuff like that. So I was I would say I was an amateur musician, you know what I mean? An aspiring amateur.
You're getting paid though. I mean, it was a job. That's professional.
I mean, you wonder why we went to Taco Bell when we first met. Like we got paid, but like we were going to Taco Bell to eat, you know what I mean? We were driving a van and trailer with, you know, 6 dudes in a car, 311 has 5 fucking tour buses, one for their crew and one for each member. We were driving 14 hours overnight to get, to crazy distances away. Sleeping in Motel 6s, begging for internet, Wi-Fi,
Do you miss that life at all? I mean, you're married with kids now.
I mean, I do miss playing. Playing was very fun. It's performing and doing all that. It's a good life lesson too. I mean, I'm in sales, so it's one of those things where I still perform, and it's like, it's for customers, and it's just like you're in front of, doing presentations and stuff like that. So it's different, but it's like when people do like public speaking things, there's nothing quite like playing in front of either playing in front of a lot of people or playing a really large venue with not a lot of people in it. So like we played in St. Louis, the Verizon Center. Sounds awesome, right? Probably holds like 30,000 people. There was 300 when we played. So it's like you're on the stage, and it's actually one of the ones with like the TV screen. So like you could see us on the TV screen. You're like, holy shit, we made it. But nobody showed up to the show yet because it was too early in the day. But you're like doing your set, you're like throwing it all out there. And yeah, on any normal day, 300 people is cool. But when we're somewhere that holds 30,000, it's pathetic.
Seems like nothing.
But yeah, it's funny. It's a weird dynamic. But I definitely miss. We played like a street festival that might have been like somewhere else in Missouri, and we were touring 311, so there's a lot of weed smoking happening. Not really me. It's not really ever been my thing. I would partake here and there. But my drummer, our the lead singer, and the bass player, huge potheads, and me and the bass player had a shoe rack on the side of our trailer. So like we would put our flip flops, we'd put our sneakers, and we'd hang them. So we would play a show, take those shoes, put them in the shoe rack, and switch our footwear out. So I've always been into shoes. So they were smoking a bowl, I guess, and they fucking ashed it, and it got in the shoe rack. And they shut the fucking trailer. 311 starts playing, and all of a sudden, one of the stage crew from 311 comes over to us and they're like, your trailer's on fire. So like we're in the Midwest, and you can buy fireworks here, but we're from New York, so you can't ever buy fireworks anywhere. So we were buying fireworks on the side of the road, at all the places that are like selling fireworks on the side of the road. And we all look at each other like, fireworks! And our fucking gear's in there and everything. But like, so like the fucking trailer's on fire. There's fireworks. The fire department shows up. Is a fucking while 311's playing. It was very embarrassing. So,
That's some shenanigans out of a Will Ferrell movie there.
Yeah, it was bad. But
you've done a lot of music for the podcast. The Kristopher Mendoza
Kristopher Mendoza.
wasn't really for the podcast, but we've kind of adopted it. But then I remember I wanted to do a gag about how there's no obstacle course racing in Mary Poppins Returns. And so you you made a theme song for our musical movie reviews, or I don't remember what it was exactly.
I did that on my daughter's iPad, and honestly, I remember doing it, but I don't even remember what I did. So if you have it, you can send it to me because I don't have it anymore.
I'll have to find it. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
I did a 5 stars thing for you, right? Is that the one where I did the 5 stars? Is that the one?
I think it's in that. In that. Yeah. It's like part of the or like the tag at the very end of it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I did that on GarageBand, like on my kid's iPad. Yeah.
So you're doing some other stuff with music. You actually have some new stuff you want to roll out today, or it's tease. What are we talking about right now?
So I was doing what was it? One of the challenges. Chris Mendoza put out one of the challenges. He's a very nice guy. So yeah, he put out the challenge where he had to write serenades for everyone to get a puzzle piece. I think it was like 10 or something like that. I don't remember how many it was, but it was not many people weren't doing it. So I did a bunch of them, and I've been doing a lot of birthday songs for people, like custom birthday songs for people. And you actually kind of helped me with this idea. I started writing a song for the event, and like kind of like a custom song for this Coming Tough Mudder. So it's kind of like ad libs, right? You like kind of not choose your own adventure, but like mad libs where you'll enter your mileage, your fear, favorite obstacle, injury maybe that you had happen at the event. So kind of personalize a song about World's Toughest Mudder to whatever your experience was. So I'm kind of betaing that now. I'll have a clip for you, Will, that you can put on. I don't know how I'd be able to play it now for it to sound pretty straight, right? I mean,
we'll edit it in later. But
Yeah,
basically,
we can do
someone that runs the race this weekend, and they run 55 miles, and they lose 3 toenails, and they really hate shock and sprawl or whatever electrical obstacle. And so, like, they can give you that information about their personal race, and you'll write a song for them.
Yeah. So we got a couple of iterations of this. I mean, the general kind of idea for this is I have sort of like the song itself exists, and there'll be certain parts of the song that are customizable. So, and then, I mean, there's ways if someone wants something fully customizable, I can do that too, but that's a much bigger production, so to speak. But the general idea here is, you give me these pieces of information, and I'll work it into this framework that I have put together.
They'll have their own song. They can do their own TikTok videos with it, or Instagram, or whatever.
Yeah. So like a lot of this comes from, if you remember in 17, when I was pit crewing, I did a video for ORM, and I was lucky enough that, I was in a band. I had friends that are in bands. I'm lucky enough to have access to music that isn't licensed by labels that never made it big per se. And so I was able to use a song that I liked, that I thought fit the vibe of the event, without having to get Facebook ripping the music off. So like, for example, if you want to make a photo collage of your event, your pit crew takes tons of photos, and you want to put a little thing together, and you want to put that on Facebook, go ahead, use Imagine Dragons, and it's going to either have no audio, or they're going to tell you it's copyrighted, and they're going to fucking sue you, right? So it's a huge problem nowadays, like Facebook, Instagram, like it'll mute you, and it'll tell you can only listen to this out of the country. So the general idea here was something that you can have. It'll be more relevant. You don't have to like search for songs that are really about like, grooming girls when you're in a fucking emo rock band that you think are about like brand new, dude. No. It's true, man. That's what happens. Yeah, right over there.
So good.
It's tough. Well, no, because like, people think lyrics are about a certain thing, and then you find out it's about something way worse than you expected. You know what I mean? Like love songs. It's like, oh yeah, fucking me and my wife, we fell in love. It's like, yo, this song was about, like, Billy Corgan wrote that about his puppy. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about a girl. So
How can people get their own custom song about World's Toughest Mudder?
I don't know, Will, what do you think the best way? I guess DM me. I don't have anything set up really. So
I think eventually you want to have, if it's popular, you want to get a website set up.
Yeah. I haven't done that yet. I've been focused on writing the actual song, which
Right.
I've made some progress with.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you can probably do something on Shopify without too much of a headache. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's like this. They have a lot of like templates for like if you want to sell your cross stitching or you want to sell your custom signs or something. There's got to be something similar to, or that you could custom.
Right?
Etsy, yeah.
You can fucking knit. I can knit like an album cover.
You definitely want to get your Pinterest page up and running, I'd imagine.
Yeah. So it's like, that's how you know you're old, right? You used to ask me that question. I'm like, yeah, I don't fucking know. Like, yeah, just send me a mail. Mail it to me.
Send something on the internet. Get on the Facebook and find me.
It's on the line. Yeah, it's on the line. We'll get it on the line.
Young people love it when people our age act like we're super old. They think it's hilarious.
Well, how old are you?
42.
I'm turning 40, but like, dude, you didn't have a cell phone in college. I had one like my senior year. I had a fucking StarTAC. All right. Like, you didn't have a cell phone.
I don't think I got a cell phone until I was 22 or 23, my first cell phone. And it was one of those Nokia bricks that just did Snake, and it was like indestructible. You could change the faceplate out. That was about the only customization you could do. And you know why I got it? This is how old I am. I got it because of 9/11. I was like, well, man, most of my friends had one by then. I was kind of like the last one to get it. But I was like, oh, well, 9/11. Like, I should probably get a cell phone. Like, that'll help, if something happens.
I got one because my dad wanted to buy a new phone. So like the way he sold my mom on him getting a new phone was, yeah, Keith needs a cell phone at college. It's like, all right, like, I'll take this fucking StarTAC.
It's
And my dad got it. Like,
it's crazy. Like my 14-year-old son, like if he has a question about something, he can literally find the answer out, on YouTube or Wikipedia, or like when we were kids, like you had to ask your dad, and if he didn't know, you'd ask your mom, or maybe you'd hope one of his friends knew the answer. Like eventually you could go to the library and look it up somewhere, but
yeah,
it's mind-boggling to think that you like who was that actor? That one actor. What else was he in? And like you never be able to figure it out. You just have to like not know.
like, dude, you know how I found out that like Pfizer was approved for children whatever age, like 5 to fucking 12 or whatever.
Your 9-year-old told you?
My fucking 9-year-old's like, Daddy, I want to get the vaccine. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not ready. He's like, nope, the FDA approved it today. I'm like, what? We don't even have cable in the house. Like when I moved to New York, I never got cable again. We're straight up like Wi-Fi and like jacking our in-laws' passwords for HBO and shit. So like, yeah, so we don't have the news. We don't have any of that shit. So yeah, he finds everything out. He was telling me, the windshield in cars is made of, 2 layers of glass, 2 layers of laminated glass, and the side windows are easier to break. Those are just tempered. I'm like, how do you know that? Some show on Netflix, Southern Survivalist or some shit. Like, it's crazy.
Why is your 9-year-old watching survivalist television shows?
He likes it, man. So if you need help cutting your seatbelt in a car fire, I got some products that you might like.
Has he seen like every episode of Paw Patrol already? Is he past it?
Well, it's funny because his name's Chase, and so like for a while he hated it because like, Chase is on the case. So he's watched all the Alien movies, so he saw those by 8. But the thing with like movies like that, we have him watch like special effects YouTube stuff, so he sees that it's fake, and like he's got a good understanding of like going into the movie that none of this is real. Oh, that's how they made it. So like all the kind of the stuff I just described with the laminated glass, like he's already like, oh, well, they used, dancers with, the aliens were ballet dancers with this styrofoam, clothing on. You're like, okay. So that's kind of how we get through those kind of movies.
Did he explain the thing popping out of the chest to you?
That one, man, that part's great. You know the real story behind that, right?
As far as how it's done?
Well, no. So like the cast didn't know that was going to happen. And like, so if you see the woman, not Sigourney Weaver's character, but the other female passenger, when she's like, oh my God, and the blood hits. So they had no clue it was going to pop out. So her reaction where she looks like she's shitting herself, like she's shitting herself. like her actual, like, oh my God, like that's real. Like
that's pretty fun.
Ridley Scott, it's no joke.
So hey, so if somebody wants a custom song, they can DM you on Facebook, Keith Allen. What if they want to find you on Instagram?
At Chet Saber. So
what's the story with Chet Saber?
I used to fence in high school and college, so saber was my weapon. And Chester Copperpot was like my alias I used from Goonies, and Chet is short for that. So I just tried to come up with something that was a mixture of things. So Chet Saber.
Something clever.
Chester Copperpot. I used Chet Saber when my wife and I first got married and we lived in Virginia. I was Chet Saber. She was Felicity Vaughn Saber, and my buddy Kiefer was Bryson Cougar. And those were the names. Like, he was newly divorced, so me and Kelly would go out to bars with him, and like we kind of like wingman both of them for him, and he would use like a fake name, and that was like kind of our bit. We'd be, oh, this is Bryson Cougar. Oh, my friend Bryson. This is Felicity and Chet. So like that was kind of our, before we had kids, back when we still went to bars.
Those are very British sounding fake names. Like when you put them all next to each other, Felicity, Bryson.
Yeah.
Even Chet, if you like mix it in with those other two, you could see it being
Chet Saber and Felicity coming over. Bryson Cougar.
Keith, I usually ask people if they have any sponsors or anything they want to plug. Do you want to send anyone anywhere?
I've been enjoying some delicious Treehouse Brewery. This is a Julius. It's honestly one of the best breweries in America. I'm going to do the opposite of what you just said. Everybody in OCR is fucking posting all this non-alcoholic beer bullshit lately, and it's ridiculous. Everyone, I just want this beer after I love. Stop it. Stop it. It's real beer right here. Treehouse Brewing. It's in Massachusetts. Kevin Chow, you're full of shit. I know you're an ambassador. I love you. But I know you're not trying to drink non-alcoholic beer. If Athletic Brewing is a sponsor of this show, I apologize.
They have been in the past. This episode will not be.
In all honesty, Athletic Brewing isn't bad. I actually have some in my house, and I had a Halloween party last week, and somebody was drinking one, and they had no fucking idea that they were drinking a non-alcoholic beer. So in all seriousness, if you are into trying to stay fit, drinking a beer, it's Aaron Newell, honestly. It's like, I know Aaron Newell's not into non-alcoholic beer. It's too much of a prick online to like really be into that life. I don't know. Just stop, dude. Ryan Atkins, he's a physical specimen. I believe it. I believe Ryan Atkins is drinking non-alcoholic beer. Hunter, dude, you're not drinking fucking that. Come on. How are you doing a fucking beer mile with a non-alcoholic beer? That is bullshit. I love you, Hunter. But stop. The guy you were in your video had an actual beer. It's not a beer mile with non-alcoholic beer.
That was a challenge they did, I don't know, I'll say a few weeks ago. It's probably a few months ago now, where they ran a beer mile every quarter of a mile, I think. You chug a beer.
Right. I get that. But if you're not getting drunk, doesn't that like take isn't it part of getting drunk, the beer mile?
I don't know if it's getting drunk or it's just the alcohol combined with the running.
Yeah. But there's no alcohol in the non-alcoholic beer.
I think Kevin Chow is shouting at his phone right now. He just went back and forth.
This went off the rails here.
Well, Keith, any last advice or any thoughts for guys running this weekend, World's Toughest?
I would say if you're going to quit, you're going to regret the shit out of it. So don't quit. So unless you're like really hurt. But if you think that you're going to regret it, you will. So don't let your little voice inside your head convince you otherwise. Me and Pat Guzik should have done 65 in 2016, and we convinced ourselves to stop. And we talk about it like every year about how stupid we were.
What'd you stop at? 60?
60, yeah. We're like, yeah, we're good. We're good. Yeah, 60 is great. Yes, yeah, this is perfect distance. Who needs 65? We should have done 65. So
isn't it crazy how your brain lies? Like it literally lies to you. Like your brain is a liar.
Yep. And like, yeah, I blame Pat in all honesty. No. And my wife is like, what are you guys fucking stupid? Go back out. We're like, no, we talked about it. We're good. And she was like, she had a certain amount of resistance. She's like, all right, whatever, you morons. And we stopped. And yeah, we still talk about it. It's been fucking 5 years. We're still talking about how we should have gone. We had time. We were fine. We should have got 65. So
you know what the
if
thing? Go no.
So if you're going to be on a podcast 5 years later talking about 5 extra miles, like that's how you know you should keep going.
It really bothers you. Literally 5 years later, and it's still in your head.
Drives me fucking crazy. Yeah. Not crazy enough to do it again and get 65, but it pisses me off.
You know, it's World's Toughest Mudder isn't going anywhere. Like, I mean, it's going somewhere. We don't know where, but the race will be there in 2022 for you.
Yeah.
You want to run 65? You got a year to train.
And I got a free entry to Toughest, so I'm going to do that, and we'll see how it goes. So.
All right. Keith Allen, Chet Saber at Instagram. DM him for your personalized song requests. Keith Allen, any last thoughts?
Love, Peace, Chicken Grease. If you've ever watched John Leguizamo movie called The Pest, you'll know what I'm talking about. And that's it. That's what I got for you.
Keith Allen, thanks much.
Special thanks to Keith Allen for appearing in this episode. Well done, Keith. Are you in town yet? I cannot wait to see you. This will be a great, great weekend. Do not leave anything in the tank. Leave it all out there on the course. You want to finish exhausted. you'll finish out there. Then you make it to the finish line. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Find me at the brunch or at the bar crawl afterwards. You're going to crush it. I will see you soon. Go spend time with someone you love.
Miles is what I need. Said 50 miles.